Hello friends! Have you ever met someone born on March 4th and felt instantly intrigued by their unique blend of mystery, sensitivity, and quiet power? There's a lot more than meets the eye when it comes to these Pisces-born individuals. Whether you're one of them or simply want to understand them better, you're about to dive deep into their cosmic blueprint, through the lenses of Western astrology, numerology, Vedic charts, the Druid tree calendar, flower and stone horoscopes, and beyond. Let's explore what makes the souls born on March 4th so fascinating, in love, relationships, career, sex, friendships, and spiritual purpose. Western astrology, Pisces magic at its most potent. To understand the depth and texture of a person born on March 4th, we must first begin with the archetype of Pisces, the 12th and final sign in the zodiac cycle. Pisces is traditionally seen as the mystic, the dreamer, the empath, someone whose soul carries fragments of all the signs that came before. It is the most spiritually evolved and emotionally complex of all zodiac signs, ruled not by logic or dominance, but by intuition, emotion, and transcendence. But March 4th isn't just any Pisces date. This birthday lands at a unique astrological position that blends the imaginative waters of Pisces with an undertone of Earth-like pragmatism. While many Pisces are prone to drift, lost in fantasy, creativity, or emotion, the March 4th Pisces seems more anchored. There's a built-in seriousness here, a natural sense of purpose, and even a quiet ambition. These people may be gentle on the surface, but their inner world is fierce, like still waters hiding a powerful current beneath. Their planetary ruler, Neptune, imbues them with creativity, dreamlike perceptions, and deep compassion. They can sense things most people miss: the emotional atmosphere of a room, a lie hidden in a smile, the pain behind someone's silence. Yet the March 4th born seem to have better boundaries than most Pisces. They don't let the tides of emotion consume them the same way others with this sun sign might. They are often old souls with timeless wisdom, and their minds operate in layers. One layer observes the world with poetic sensitivity. Another processes events in abstract spiritual symbolism. But a third, crucial layer, often overlooked, is a deeply strategic and quietly focused core. These are not passive dreamers. They may look like they're lost in thought, but often, they're working on a plan 10 steps ahead. People born on March 4th excel in areas where vision and execution need to meet. Places like filmmaking, design, psychology, healing arts, diplomacy, innovation, and even entrepreneurship. While their emotional depth and intuition are always central, they also have the rare ability to translate vision into structure. Their strengths read like the traits of a character from an epic novel: emotional intelligence, which allows them to read and understand the hearts of others; creativity, which pours from them naturally, often through music, writing, or visual art; loyalty, which is unwavering and rooted in spiritual values; and a soulful depth that leaves others feeling both intrigued and comforted in their presence. Of course, no gift comes without its shadows. For the March 4th Pisces, these lie in the tendency to over-identify with the suffering of others, sometimes to the point of self-sacrifice. They can become martyrs, taking on burdens that were never theirs to carry. And when the world becomes too heavy, their Neptunian instincts may push them into escapist behaviors, disappearing into books, TV, sleep, overwork, or even unhealthy addictions. Emotional overwhelm can strike suddenly, like a wave, and only self-awareness can help them ride it instead of drown beneath it. The March 4th born are spiritual warriors in disguise. They don't wear their strength loudly, but it's there, in their resilience, their inner fortitude, and their quiet determination to make the world softer, kinder, and more beautiful. Love, the gentle power of devotion. To love a person born on March 4th is to be invited into a world that is profoundly intimate, subtly magical, and filled with unspoken understanding. These individuals don't simply fall in love, they experience love as a spiritual journey. To them, a romantic connection isn't just about attraction or compatibility. It's about energetic resonance, about finding someone whose frequency aligns with theirs in that deep, sacred way. They are intensely romantic, but not in the superficial sense of chocolates and roses. For March 4th Pisces, romance lives in the quiet gestures, remembering what makes you feel safe, listening between the lines of what you say, holding you through a moment of self-doubt, sending a song that captures your mood better than words ever could. They connect on levels that most people can't even describe. They can make you feel seen, not just as who you are now, but who you were and who you're becoming. Their devotion runs deep. When they love, they offer themselves completely, sometimes to a fault. This is not a sign that plays games or withholds affection. They give honestly, from the heart, often putting their partner's emotional needs above their own. And because they feel so much, betrayal or emotional coldness can be deeply damaging to them, more than they will admit. Though they are not always quick to commit, their hearts are cautious from past soul wounds. Once they do, their loyalty is unshakable. They become the kind of partner who's there in silence, in chaos, in celebration, in grief. They're the ones who'll stand by you during your worst moments and make you feel lovable anyway. Physically, they are intuitive lovers, able to sense their partner's needs without being told. They believe in sensuality as a form of communication, a way of saying, I see you, I feel you, I am with you. Passion with them is emotional, often slow-burning, and layered with tenderness and meaning. But love for them can also bring pain. Their idealism makes them vulnerable to disappointment. They may fall for someone's potential, not their reality, and stay long after the red flags have turned crimson. They need a partner who loves them not just for their giving nature, but also for their need for rest, reassurance, and reciprocal care. Ideal romantic matches. Scorpio. This is one of the most powerful zodiac pairings. Pisces and Scorpio connect at a soul-deep level, often communicating without words. Scorpio's intensity matches Pisces' depth, and they can create a partnership that feels like it's woven from fate. There's spiritual, sexual, and emotional chemistry. Plus, both signs value loyalty above all. Taurus. With Taurus, Pisces finds grounding. Taurus provides the earthy stability Pisces often lacks, while Pisces offers emotional richness and creative inspiration. Together, they balance each other. Taurus slows Pisces down and provides a home for their wandering spirit, while Pisces brings lightness and romance to Taurus's routines. Cancer. This is another deeply emotional connection. Cancer and Pisces both seek safe, nurturing partnerships, and together they create a cocoon of comfort and compassion. They're both intuitive, affectionate, and family-oriented, able to share dreams and build them into reality together. Capricorn. At first glance, these two may seem incompatible. Capricorn is logical and goal-driven, Pisces is sensitive and free-flowing. But in truth, they complement each other beautifully. Capricorn offers Pisces a sense of structure and protection, while Pisces softens Capricorn's hard edges and reminds them how to feel. Challenging pairings. Gemini. While both signs are curious and imaginative, Gemini is often too changeable for Pisces' deeply emotional world. Gemini thrives on variety and intellectual stimulation, while Pisces needs emotional presence and consistency. This match can feel fun at first, but often lacks emotional anchoring. Sagittarius. The bold, truth-telling archer can sometimes be too blunt or detached for Pisces, who is more sensitive and nuanced in communication. Sag needs freedom, while Pisces needs closeness, and without conscious effort, these differences can drive a wedge between them. Leo. Both are romantic and idealistic, but Leo's need for attention and admiration can feel overwhelming to Pisces. Meanwhile, Pisces' subtle emotions may confuse Leo, who prefers clarity and drama. They admire each other, but often miss connecting on a deeper emotional wavelength. Marriage. Soulful unions that stand the test of time. For those born on March 4th, marriage is not simply an agreement signed on paper. It is a profound soul contract, something that carries spiritual gravity and emotional intention. These individuals don't treat commitment lightly, and they don't rush into long-term unions. In fact, many March 4th born people are what astrologers call late bloomers in love. This doesn't mean they aren't romantic early in life, they absolutely are, but they are discerning, often subconsciously waiting for a connection that feels not only emotionally fulfilling but cosmically aligned. Marriage for them is a sacred space, a place of emotional refuge and shared spiritual evolution. They don't just want a spouse, they want a mirror who reflects their inner world, a muse who inspires their creativity, and a fellow traveler on the path of soul growth. They seek someone who doesn't just love them, but who sees them, in their fullness, their flaws, their dreams, and their fears. These individuals are emotional anchors in their relationships. They'll weather storms, navigate silence, and hold space for deep healing, as long as they feel that they are loved and emotionally safe in return. Mutual emotional security is everything for them, not only being able to express their vulnerabilities but knowing that those confessions will be met with kindness, not judgment. In the right relationship, their capacity for emotional intimacy deepens year by year, often growing richer and more layered than most couples ever experience. They're drawn to rituals in marriage, not just holidays or anniversaries, but the small, meaningful gestures that feel sacred over time. Late-night talks, shared music, morning coffee together, handwritten notes. These acts aren't trivial to a March 4th soul, they're emotional glue. Through these habits, they weave emotional memory into the fabric of the marriage. Importantly, their idea of love evolves. While passion may be strong in the early stages, it's the growing spiritual dimension of the bond that nourishes them over decades. Many people born on March 4th report experiencing a telepathic connection with their partner, finishing each other's sentences, sensing moods before a word is spoken, dreaming about each other on the same night. For them, this is not coincidence. It's a sign they chose the right soul to walk with. However, if the marriage becomes emotionally unsafe, filled with criticism, distance, or coldness, their natural instinct is to retreat inward. They won't always vocalize their dissatisfaction, especially if they still love their partner. Instead, they'll suffer in silence, trying to hold the connection together through hope alone. That's why emotional availability and honest communication are not just helpful, they're essential. When they marry well, the result is often a union that feels timeless, as if it were destined long before they met. They make exceptional lifelong partners, the kind who keep growing, keep loving, and keep dreaming together. Their spouse will not just have a teammate but a confidant, a healer, a mystic, and a sanctuary all wrapped into one. Sex, a sacred and sensual experience. Sex for those born on March 4th is not simply a means of physical pleasure, it's a profound emotional and spiritual act, a form of wordless communication that carries meaning far beyond the physical body. They experience intimacy as a soul-merging event, where two people dissolve the illusion of separateness and become, even if only for a moment, one shared pulse of energy and emotion. To the March 4th Pisces, touch is poetry, rhythm is emotion, and connection is sacred. They approach sex with the same depth they bring to everything else in life. It is an experience of presence, vulnerability, creativity, and surrender. They are not performance-focused, but emotionally attuned. They want to feel everything, and they want you to feel everything too. These lovers are imaginative and intuitive. Without needing to be told, they often sense what their partner craves, not just physically, but emotionally. Their empathy guides their movements. They're the type to adjust their energy in real time, noticing your breath, your hesitation, your shifts in emotion. It's not about power or ego for them, it's about resonance. When sex with a March 4th person is at its peak, it feels like emotional telepathy. Yet, they don't give this depth of themselves to just anyone. They may seem open and gentle, but they are intensely private about their sensual self. They need emotional safety and trust before they can let go fully. If they don't feel secure, they may engage, but a part of them will remain closed off, and the experience will lack the transcendent quality they're truly capable of sharing. Once that trust is established, however, they can become passionate and even experimental lovers, not in the showy or wild way some might expect, but in a deeply immersive, exploratory, and emotionally guided way. They're turned on by meaning, by emotion, by connection. They love ambiance, music, candlelight, softness, a sense of ritual. These details matter because they set the tone for what is, to them, almost a sacred ceremony. For the March 4th Pisces, even the anticipation of sex is sensual. The right word, the right look, a shared memory, these all stir their energy. They enjoy emotional foreplay, not just physical. Conversations that build intimacy, acts of service, shared creativity, all of these can make them feel more connected and more open to deeper physical experiences. Sex, for them, is also healing. It can be a way to reconnect after conflict, to affirm love, or to release emotional tension. If their partner meets them in this space with the same reverence, they will feel emotionally renewed and more bonded afterward. If not, they may feel drained or misunderstood, as if something sacred was missed. A practical note: when it comes to technique, flashy moves or performance-based bravado mean very little to a March 4th Pisces. What moves them is presence, eye contact, slowness, emotional honesty. If you show up as your real self, with affection and openness, you'll find a partner who is deeply generous and emotionally transformative in return. In their ideal world, sex is not separate from love or from life. It's all connected: the way they cook together, laugh together, support each other, dream together. Their sensuality is interwoven into the rhythms of daily life. To them, true eroticism lives not in seduction but in shared spirit, mutual care, and deep emotional knowing. Trust is the gate, vulnerability is the key, and love, real love, is the universe they long to explore. Friendship, the quiet guardian. To have a friend born on March 4th is to be graced with a quiet, constant presence, someone who may not always stand in the spotlight, but who will never leave your side when it counts. These individuals bring a uniquely soulful energy to friendship. They don't just show up for the good times or offer shallow gestures of support. They offer something deeper, a type of emotional companionship that feels like home. March 4th people are the friends who intuitively know when something's off. They'll check in on you unprompted, sense your emotional shifts before you articulate them, and offer comfort that feels exactly like what you didn't know you needed. They don't just listen, they receive your feelings with empathy and sincerity. You'll never have to explain yourself twice. With them, even silence is a shared language. They tend to attract people who are emotionally complex or even wounded in some way, because their presence feels safe and nurturing. But this isn't just blind kindness, they are discerning. They know who to open their heart to, and when they do, they go all in. Loyalty isn't optional for them, it's sacred. They keep secrets like vaults, remember important details, and are often the ones holding the group together quietly in the background. In many friend groups, they're the emotional anchor, the one others come to when life gets turbulent. But being this emotionally available has its cost. March 4th friends are deeply sensitive, and if they don't take time to recharge, they risk emotional burnout. That's why they sometimes disappear, not in anger, not in apathy, but in self-preservation. They retreat to reconnect with their own energy, to process, to dream, to simply be. Their solitude isn't a sign of disinterest. It's how they stay capable of giving so fully. They gravitate toward one-on-one connections or small, tight-knit groups. The idea of being socially popular, or surrounded by dozens of acquaintances holds little appeal for them. They crave depth over breadth. A single authentic relationship means more to them than 10 surface-level ones. In fact, they often choose friends who feel more like family, people with whom they can build a soul-level bond that stands the test of time. And make no mistake, these bonds often do last a lifetime. March 4th individuals age beautifully as friends. They become even more compassionate, wise, and grounding as the years go by. They may not be the loudest voice in the room or the most outwardly expressive, but they'll be the one who remembers your father's birthday even after he passed, or who sits quietly with you in grief when no one else knows what to say. Their friendships are often laced with a bit of mystery, too. They are not fully knowable, even by their closest friends, and that's part of their charm. They reveal themselves in layers, always authentic, but always with something more beneath the surface. If you're lucky enough to have a March 4th friend, you know they're not replaceable. They are the rare kind of human who will feel your sadness as if it were their own, yet love you in a way that doesn't ask for anything in return. If there's one word that defines them as a friend, it's devotion. And in a world full of fleeting connections and temporary attention, That kind of friendship is a rare and priceless gift. Career business, creative minds with intuitive strategy. People born on March 4th are among the rarest blends in the professional world. Idealists with structure, dreamers with a plan, and creatives with follow-through. They possess a rich inner world that constantly churns with ideas, insights, and emotional awareness, yet they also have the uncanny ability to translate vision into reality. This is not just Pisces energy, this is Pisces refined through personal resilience and practical intuition. At their core, they are artists of meaning. They want their work to matter, to touch lives, to heal, to inspire, or to elevate the human experience. Whether they're creating something visual, writing, speaking, organizing, or leading, they seek to bring emotional truth into the spotlight. Careers that involve storytelling, empathy, or soul work tend to resonate most deeply with them. They shine in fields like music, film, therapy, counseling, writing, design, healing arts, humanitarian efforts, and nonprofit leadership. They are also naturally gifted in spiritual vocations, becoming guides, coaches, or intuitive advisors. Their emotional intelligence isn't just a personal trait, it becomes a professional superpower that allows them to understand audiences, clients, and collaborators on a gut level. But what makes March 4th individuals truly remarkable in business is that they don't rely on charisma or volume. They're not the loudest voice in the boardroom or the flashiest name on a project. Instead, they lead with subtle clarity and humble conviction. Their strategy is quiet but effective, guided not just by numbers or trends, but by deep intuitive insight. They know how people feel, what they want, and where energy is shifting, often before the data shows it. This gives them an edge in entrepreneurship. Many March 4th people make exceptional business owners because they know how to build brands that feel alive, that speak to human need and emotional resonance. They're not just selling products or services, they're telling stories, creating experiences, offering transformation. They're rarely motivated by money alone. What drives them is the desire to make a lasting, meaningful impact. In collaborative environments, they are the empathic observers who notice what everyone else is missing. They're not the ones who talk over people, they're the ones who listen so well they leave others feeling truly understood. This makes them natural mediators, team nurturers, and trust builders. People feel safe around them, which fosters loyalty and collaboration that can't be faked. Here are the key professional strengths of the March 4th born. Deep intuition about people's needs. They just know, whether it's a client, a customer base, or a colleague in crisis, they can often sense what's needed, emotionally, creatively, or structurally, without being told. This makes them remarkable at user experience, marketing, customer service, design, and anything requiring a deep human touch. Empathy that builds loyal networks. Because they lead with heart and sincerity, they attract loyalty. Employees, clients, and partners trust them because they feel valued. This trust becomes the backbone of their long-term success, turning collaborations into communities. Creative innovation. Their ideas don't come from trend reports, they come from inner stillness, dreams, and intuitive observation. They often bring fresh, emotionally resonant ideas to the table, concepts that are ahead of their time, yet immediately impactful. Humble leadership. They are not authoritarian. Instead, they lead like rivers shape the land, with presence, persistence, and emotional flow. They inspire by being real, vulnerable, and quietly powerful. Others follow them not because they demand it, but because their presence brings clarity, care, and direction. In short, the March 4th individual has what the world needs more than ever: creative intelligence fused with emotional wisdom, and a deep desire to build something that matters. Whether behind the scenes or in front of an audience, their work carries the unmistakable signature of someone who's not just in it for success, but for soulful, lasting impact. Numerology, the power of 4. To be born on the 4th of any month is to carry a lifelong imprint of structure, order, discipline, and perseverance, the sacred frequency of stability in numerology. For someone born on March 4th, this grounding, dependable energy fuses with the ethereal, intuitive essence of Pisces, creating a personality that is both sensitive and strong, visionary and practical. While Pisces tends to drift like a poet on an open sea, the influence of the number 4 serves as an anchor to reality, allowing these dreamers to transform their visions into something real, lasting, and impactful. The number 4 is often associated with the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water, and the 4 corners of a square, symbolizing wholeness, structure, and stability. Individuals born under this vibration are often seen as builders, architects, organizers, and manifestors. They have a natural sense of rhythm and timing, an instinct for putting things in order, and a strong need to create things that endure. They aren't satisfied by fleeting trends or shallow successes. They want to construct something meaningful, something that holds weight and integrity, whether that's a business, a home, a relationship, a work of art, or a legacy. Now imagine this framework wrapped in the intuitive waters of Pisces. It creates a personality that's exceptionally rare. Someone who dreams in color, but organizes in form. Someone who feels deeply, yet functions strategically. These individuals can bring divine inspiration down to earth. They don't just think about big ideas, they execute them. They have the patience to build slow, the tenacity to stick through hard times, and the emotional intelligence to lead with empathy. There is often a quiet seriousness to people born on March 4th. Even when they're whimsical or artistic, you can sense the weight of responsibility they carry internally. They're not impulsive with their energy. They are measured, often introspective, and always tuned into the long game. They make plans not for the next month, but for the next 10 years. This forward-thinking quality often leads to early wisdom and a mature emotional lens, even in youth. In relationships and partnerships, the 4 energy shows up as unshakable loyalty. These individuals aren't here for the short term. They commit deeply, often slowly, but fully. They value consistency, honesty, and shared purpose. They're not afraid of the hard conversations or the mundane maintenance of emotional connection. They know that real love is work, and they're willing to show up every day and put in the effort. Professionally, this birth number is excellent for leadership roles, especially those that require managing people, planning projects, or handling logistics. You'll often find March 4th individuals excelling in fields like architecture, engineering, project management, education, finance, design, community organizing, or any creative profession where practical systems meet artistic vision. They're also drawn to humanitarian or spiritual projects, but not in a vague way. They want to build infrastructures of change, places where compassion is systemized and sustainable. Another beautiful aspect of the number 4 is its connection to service and responsibility. These individuals often feel a deep duty to their community or their family. They may not always express this in grand gestures, but it's there, woven into their choices, their career paths, their loyalty, and even their inner dialogue. They want to protect, preserve, and provide, not from ego, but from a core desire to be useful in the most soulful way. If your life path number is 1, 3, or 7, as it often is for those born on March 4th, that adds a layer of complexity and character to your profile. A 1 would amplify your leadership and independence. A 3 would enhance your creativity and communication. A 7 would heighten your spiritual insight and depth. But regardless of your life path, your birth date number, the 4, acts like a spine, keeping you upright, reliable, and grounded in purpose. The essence of 4 makes you grounded. Even when emotions are stormy or life feels abstract, you have the ability to return to center. You can stabilize yourself, and often others, with quiet strength. Loyal. Your word means something. You don't make promises lightly, and when you commit, you mean it, whether it's a job, a relationship, or a personal goal. Practical, even amid spiritual chaos. You're the rare intuitive who can also balance a checkbook, map out a 5-year plan, or build a brand. You don't just believe in dreams, you schedule them. A born builder. Whether you're creating physical structures, emotional systems, spiritual communities, or works of art, you build from the ground up, with care, precision, and vision. In a world full of chaotic, fast-moving energy, your March 4th combination of Pisces soul and number 4 spine is something truly powerful. You're a living bridge, between the mystical and the material, the emotional and the organized, the sacred and the structured. Druid tree horoscope, weeping willow. In the Celtic Druid tree horoscope, each person is symbolically linked to a specific tree, a representation of their inner world, spiritual essence, and life pattern. For those born on March 4th, the tree is the weeping willow, a tree of intuition, emotion, rhythm, and mystical beauty. This alignment speaks volumes, as it mirrors the Pisces sun sign in many striking ways, while adding layers of ancient symbolism and elemental wisdom. The weeping willow is a tree associated with water, not only physically, as it grows near rivers and lakes, but metaphorically, as a symbol of emotional depth and psychic connection. People born under this tree sign often carry a kind of melancholy wisdom. They seem to have lived many lives, even if they can't explain how they know what they know. Their energy is soft but strong, bending but never breaking, much like the branches of the willow itself. This tree represents the divine feminine, not gender-specific, but in the sense of receiving, flowing, nurturing, and intuiting. March 4th individuals often carry an innate ability to read between the lines of life, sensing truths that are invisible to most. Their perception is subtle, nonlinear, and often difficult to put into words, yet it guides their decisions, their creativity, and their relationships with uncanny precision. As willows, they are often deeply attuned to nature, particularly to cycles of the moon, shifts in energy, and unspoken emotional undercurrents. They may feel more alive during certain lunar phases or need time alone when the emotional atmosphere around them becomes overwhelming. This sensitivity, while occasionally exhausting, is also their greatest gift. It allows them to connect with others in ways that feel sacred, timeless, and healing. Willows are also known for their emotional resilience. While they may appear delicate or easily moved to tears, those born under this tree are incredibly strong at the core. Their strength is not in resistance, but in adaptation. They move with life, flow with hardship, and often emerge wiser, softer, and more compassionate from life's trials. This makes them natural counselors, artists, and peace-bringers. Creativity flows naturally from these individuals. Just like the willow's branches seem to dance with the wind, March 4th people often find themselves drawn to music, writing, painting, dance, or other forms of self-expression that allow their subconscious to breathe. It's not uncommon for them to receive artistic visions in dreams or to feel emotionally transformed by a song, a color, or a phrase. Art isn't a luxury for them, it's a spiritual necessity. This tree also symbolizes mourning and release. Willows teach us how to let go, how to grieve with grace, how to make peace with impermanence. March 4th people often carry a certain emotional weight, not always their own, and must learn how to release pain, not just for themselves, but for others. They are energetic filters, emotional alchemists, and quiet healers. In relationships, willow-born individuals are empathetic, romantic, and deeply intuitive. They sense when their loved ones are suffering, even when nothing has been said. They provide comfort through presence, not pressure. They just know how to sit with someone and make them feel safe. This sensitivity can be overwhelming if unbalanced, so it's essential for them to protect their emotional boundaries and spend time near actual water, lakes, baths, or even rain, to cleanse and recharge. If you're born on March 4th, the weeping willow is not just your tree, it is a mirror of your soul. It reminds you of your innate connection to the rhythms of the earth and the emotions of those around you. It encourages you to honor your softness, cherish your dreams, and let your spirit bend without ever breaking. Flower horoscope, water lily. The symbolic flower for those born on March 4th is the water lily, a bloom as mystical and poetic as the Pisces soul it represents. Revered across cultures and centuries, the water lily holds deep spiritual symbolism, purity rising from darkness, serenity unfolding from struggle, and quiet wisdom emerging from the depths of emotional complexity. This flower does not bloom in ideal conditions. It rises from the mud, from still and shadowy waters, and opens itself to the light with effortless grace. And in the same way, individuals born on March 4th have an uncanny ability to blossom amid life's emotional turbulence, bringing peace, beauty, and deep meaning into chaotic or unclear environments. To truly understand the soul of a water lily person is to understand paradox. They are often gentle and strong, soft yet fiercely resilient, humble yet spiritually radiant. Their emotional landscape is vast, mysterious, and often hidden beneath the surface. Just like the flower floats gracefully above the water, March 4th individuals appear serene, composed, even delicate, but below the surface lies a complex system of roots, history, depth, survival, and transformation. These individuals are at their best when immersed in emotionally layered or spiritually intense environments. While others avoid discomfort, March 4th people often walk straight into the emotional unknown, not recklessly, but with the quiet courage of someone who knows they have the capacity to feel deeply without losing themselves. They don't shy away from other people's pain. Instead, they absorb it, understand it, and reflect it back as something more beautiful, something transformed. This is why so many born on this day become counselors, therapists, artists, spiritual teachers, or healers. They are natural translators of pain, able to turn sorrow into wisdom, confusion into clarity, and fear into peace. There's an ethereal presence to these individuals. They may not say much in a room, but their energy is unmistakable, calming, soothing, and quietly powerful. People are drawn to them not because they demand attention, but because they radiate presence. A water lily soul can shift the atmosphere of a space with just a look, a smile, or a moment of authentic connection. They don't perform, they embody. Creativity is a sacred calling for many born under this flower sign. Art, music, dance, poetry, these are not hobbies for them. They are lifelines, the channels through which they process their inner world and give form to the invisible. Their work often reflects beauty tinged with sorrow, or joy that feels holy. There's always a thread of emotional honesty running through their creations. Even when they struggle to express themselves with words, their art will speak volumes. Because the water lily represents purity emerging from complexity, March 4th individuals often carry an aura of innocence, even if life has tested them deeply. They are rarely jaded, their hearts stay open, their spirits remain curious, and their desire to see the good in others survives even betrayal. This makes them extraordinary friends and lovers, deeply forgiving, endlessly patient, and gifted at seeing the potential beneath the pain. But just like the water lily, which must return to the water each night, these individuals need retreat and stillness to remain healthy. Emotional burnout is a very real risk for them. If they don't set boundaries or honor their own needs, they can become drained, resentful, or lost in the emotions of others. They thrive when they balance giving with receiving, when they schedule silence as diligently as they schedule connection. The water lily also teaches one of the greatest lessons a March 4th person must learn: that beauty and strength can coexist with vulnerability. That softness is not weakness. That rising from darkness doesn't require loudness or force, it only requires faith in the light. If you were born on March 4th, the water lily is more than just your symbolic flower, it is your mirror. It reminds you that you are at your most powerful not when you push or prove, but when you allow your inner truth to bloom naturally, even, and especially, in imperfect conditions. Stone horoscope, aquamarine. For those born on March 4th, the guiding gemstone is aquamarine, a crystal as serene, luminous, and spiritually charged as the ocean itself. With its soothing blue-green tones and gentle energy, aquamarine is more than just beautiful. It's a talisman for clarity, emotional flow, and soulful expression. Its name comes from the Latin aqua marinus, meaning water of the sea, and its energy is equally fluid, purifying, and depth-filled, just like the March 4th soul. Aquamarine resonates perfectly with Pisces-born individuals, especially those grounded by the numerological power of 4. It speaks directly to the inner ocean these individuals carry: the swirling emotions, the intuitive knowing, the waves of empathy, and the deep undercurrents of longing and insight. Where other signs might fear emotional intensity, those born on March 4th often live in it. But even they can become overwhelmed, and that's where aquamarine becomes a spiritual ally, a compass, a filter, a soft lighthouse in the fog. This crystal is most known for its calming and cleansing properties. It helps dissolve emotional noise, allowing the user to hear their own truth without interference. For March 4th individuals, who often absorb the feelings of others like a sponge, this is a crucial gift. Carrying aquamarine, whether as jewelry, a pocket stone, or a meditation focus, can help them release what isn't theirs, reset their nervous system, and reconnect with their own emotional compass. One of the most powerful effects of aquamarine is its ability to promote clear communication, not just in speech, but in energy. It opens the throat chakra, allowing feelings and thoughts to flow without fear of judgment or rejection. For a sign like Pisces, which can struggle with asserting its truth or setting boundaries, aquamarine acts like a gentle but firm guide. Speak from love, speak from clarity, speak for yourself. In emotional relationships, aquamarine encourages trust, emotional intimacy, and peaceful resolution. It soothes arguments, cools reactive tempers, and invites both parties into deeper listening. In a romantic partnership, it can help March 4th individuals stay connected to their sense of self even as they merge deeply with another, something Pisces souls often struggle to maintain. On a spiritual level, aquamarine is linked to inner vision, meditation, and divine guidance. It's a stone that sharpens intuition without overwhelming the user with stimuli. Many March 4th people report heightened dream activity, psychic awareness, or moments of synchronicity when working with this stone. It doesn't just quiet the mind, it attunes the soul. When stress rises, whether from work, love, or the sheer noise of the world, aquamarine acts like an energetic bath. Holding it during breathwork or placing it on the chest while lying down can bring immediate emotional relief. Its vibration feels like a return to self, like being rocked gently in warm, safe waters. But aquamarine isn't only about softness. It also carries a quiet courage, the kind required to be vulnerable, to express emotion, to live from the heart. It doesn't armor you, it aligns you. It reminds March 4th individuals that strength isn't loud, and clarity isn't forceful. It's the stillness that comes when you are at peace with who you are. If you were born on March 4th, aquamarine is more than your birthstone, it's your energetic mirror and emotional medicine. It reflects back your natural essence, calm but deep, kind but powerful, dreamy but wise. And when the world feels like too much, or your own emotions feel too heavy to carry, aquamarine gently calls you back to the truth, that clarity and peace have always lived inside you, waiting for you to return. Vedic Astrology, Pisces Meena Rashi. In Vedic astrology, which is deeply rooted in ancient Indian wisdom and cosmic mathematics, those born on March 4th typically fall under the Meena Rashi, the Sanskrit term for the Pisces moon sign. While Western astrology focuses on the position of the sun at birth, Vedic astrology or Jyotish Shastra emphasizes the moon's placement, which governs the emotional core, subconscious mind, instincts, and inner narrative of the soul. And the emotional landscape of Meena Rashi is nothing short of profound, intricate, and profoundly spiritual. The ruling planet of Meena is Jupiter, known as Guru in Vedic terms, the divine teacher, the bringer of wisdom, philosophy, and dharma. Jupiter here doesn't simply bestow luck or expansion as it does in some Western interpretations. In Meena Rashi, it brings spiritual yearning, compassion, devotion, and intuitive brilliance. March 4th individuals with a Meena moon often walk through life with a strong connection to the divine, even if they don't practice a formal religion. They may feel inexplicably drawn to sacred teachings, mysticism, and universal truth from an early age. For them, life is not just a journey, it's a classroom, a sanctuary, and often, a stage for karmic unfolding. Emotionally, Meena natives are gentle, imaginative, generous, and empathetic to a fault. They absorb the emotional undercurrents of their environment like a sponge, which can make them incredibly nurturing, but also prone to energetic exhaustion if they're not careful. Boundaries are one of their lifelong lessons. Because their hearts are so open, they can often attract broken or needy people, giving endlessly in relationships, sometimes to their own detriment. This is why emotional self-awareness and spiritual grounding are so critical for them. Meena Rashi individuals often exhibit the qualities of a seeker. They may not be content with surface-level existence. Instead, they crave depth, meaning, connection, and transcendence. They may spend years searching for a purpose, often shifting careers, spiritual paths, or relationships until something finally clicks. But once it does, they have the power to fully devote themselves, body, mind, and soul, to their calling. Many go on to become healers, teachers, counselors, artists, monks, mystics, or humanitarian leaders. The concept of karma is particularly strong in Meena natives. They often have a strong sense that they are not on their first incarnation. There may be a feeling of ancientness or a subtle awareness of having unfinished business in this life, people they were meant to meet, lessons they were meant to master, or gifts they were meant to give. Many are said to walk the path of the bodhisattva, sacrificing personal comfort or gain in favor of serving the greater good. One of the most compelling aspects of Meena Rashi is their imaginative and creative power. Ruled by the water element and blessed by Jupiter's expansive mind, these individuals often have rich inner worlds, vivid dreams, and a gift for storytelling, poetry, and visual expression. When they are able to tap into their creativity, it becomes a cathartic force, healing not just for themselves, but for everyone who encounters their work. Their art, like their presence, carries an unspoken vibration. It moves people, shifts energy, and often speaks what words cannot. Depending on their exact birth time, March 4th individuals may be born under one of 3 nakshatras, the 27 lunar mansions that add incredible nuance to the Vedic birth chart. Each nakshatra represents a specific archetype and karmic vibration, further shaping one's soul path. Purva Bhadrapada ruled by Jupiter. Those born under this nakshatra often possess piercing intellect, intense inner lives, and a strong sense of duality, light and dark, sacred and profane, logic and mystery. They may struggle with internal conflict but are often driven to reform or uplift society, especially through transformative philosophies or spiritual leadership. They are magnetic, intense, and often misunderstood, but have immense potential when aligned with purpose. Uttara Bhadrapada ruled by Saturn. This is the nakshatra of the old soul, the quiet mystic, the silent powerhouse of wisdom. These individuals are calm, composed, and spiritually mature, often radiating a peaceful energy that soothes others. They have a profound connection to the divine feminine, and they seek stability, tradition, and depth over drama. They make incredible healers and spiritual teachers and are often content to serve behind the scenes. Revati ruled by Mercury. As the final nakshatra of the zodiac, Revati symbolizes completion, transcendence, and karmic resolution. Those born under this star often come into this life carrying the wisdom of many lifetimes. They are gentle, kind, idealistic, and deeply devoted to truth, service, and love. They often feel a sense of being on the edge of something larger, as if they are living between the worlds. These people are true empaths and intuitive guides, and when they accept their power, they become lighthouses for others. Meena Rashi individuals must be careful of emotional escapism, whether through fantasy, addiction, or overgiving. Their journey is to learn how to stay grounded while remaining spiritually open, to trust their heart without losing their identity, and to understand that boundaries are not walls, they are sacred containers for energy. When balanced, these individuals radiate an otherworldly peace and clarity. They don't need to lead loudly or shine constantly. Their presence alone shifts energy. They are the mystics, the dream weavers, the wise ones who lead by being, not by doing. Compatibility with other signs. In Vedic astrology, compatibility is determined not just by sun signs which play a secondary role but by moon sign placements, nakshatras, and elemental harmony. For someone with Meena Rashi, the Pisces moon, emotional connection, spiritual alignment, and intuitive flow are essential in a successful relationship. They need to feel safe, seen, and spiritually synced with their partner. Let's explore the signs they tend to resonate with most, and those that pose deeper lessons. Cancer Karka Rashi. This is one of the most emotionally harmonious matches for Meena. Both signs are emotionally intelligent, nurturing, and sensitive, with a deep capacity for love. Cancer understands Pisces' moods, and Pisces offers Cancer a space to dream and soften. Together, they create a home that feels safe, romantic, and soul-nurturing. Scorpio Vrishchika Rashi, intensity meets intuition. Scorpio offers the depth and loyalty Pisces craves, while Pisces gives Scorpio the emotional trust and softness they secretly long for. This match often has a magnetic sexual and spiritual connection, with the potential for transformation and deep healing on both sides. Capricorn Makara Rashi, an unexpected but powerful pair. Capricorn brings groundedness, structure, and maturity, while Pisces brings emotional intelligence, creativity, and spiritual depth. Capricorn teaches Pisces how to make dreams real, and Pisces helps Capricorn reconnect with emotion and magic. A true builder-dreamer dynamic. Taurus Vrishabha Rashi. This relationship is rooted in stability, sensuality, and shared beauty. Taurus grounds Pisces without dimming their glow. Pisces adds depth and imagination to Taurus' steady world. Together, they move slowly but meaningfully, a match that can last a lifetime if nurtured. Aries Mesha Rashi. This pairing can be dynamic but turbulent. Aries is action-oriented, impulsive, and fiery, while Pisces is gentle, introspective, and emotional. Without conscious effort, Aries may overwhelm Pisces, and Pisces may confuse Aries. If both partners evolve emotionally, this contrast can lead to great growth, but it's not without friction. Gemini Mithuna Rashi. These two operate on different frequencies. Gemini lives in the mind, Pisces in the heart. Gemini is fast-moving and curious, while Pisces needs depth and emotional presence. While the conversations may flow, the connection may struggle to sink roots unless both value the emotional landscape equally. Sagittarius Danu Rashi. Both are idealistic, philosophical, and freedom-loving, but they express it differently. Sagittarius can be too blunt or detached for Pisces' sensitive nature. Pisces may seem too emotional or vague to Sagittarius. However, with shared spiritual goals, they can teach each other a great deal. Libra Tula Rashi. This can be a graceful, artistic, and loving pairing, but sometimes lacking in depth. Both are romantic and seek peace, but Libra may not understand Pisces' emotional shifts, and Pisces may feel unseen. If both are mature and centered, this match can blossom beautifully through shared values of beauty and love. Aquarius Kumbha Rashi. Intellectually stimulating, but often emotionally mismatched. Aquarius is cool, detached, and futuristic, while Pisces is present, emotive, and spiritually focused. Pisces may find Aquarius distant, and Aquarius may find Pisces too intense. This relationship works best as a friendship or collaboration unless the emotional gap is intentionally bridged. Ultimately, Meena Rashi individuals do best with partners who honor their emotional intelligence, respect their spiritual depth, and understand that their love is not surface level, it's soul-rooted. When they find that kind of connection, they don't just fall in love, they dissolve into it, becoming one with a depth and devotion that very few other signs can ever match. Final thoughts. The Mystic Builder. To be born on March 4th is to arrive in this world with a soul that holds the blueprint for a rare kind of magic, the kind that is both visionary and structured, sensitive and strategic, fluid and foundational. It is not enough for you to simply dream. There is something in your very DNA that compels you to give form to your imagination, to sculpt emotion into architecture, and to weave intuition into real-world impact. You are not the Pisces adrift, you are the Pisces who swims with purpose, guided by stars but grounded by roots. This unique duality is your signature. You walk through life with one foot in the ethereal, absorbing symbols, emotions, spiritual truths, and universal mysteries, while your other foot is planted firmly in the earth, ready to build, to serve, to shape, and to endure. You are the mystic who shows up on time, the healer who organizes spreadsheets, the romantic who keeps promises, and the artist who meets deadlines. That blend, that impossible fusion of fantasy and form, is what makes you so extraordinary. You possess a sacred architecture of soul. Within you lies a cathedral of creativity, filled with stained glass visions, whispered prayers for peace, and hallways of quiet resilience. Whether in your relationships, your career, your family, or your inner world, you instinctively create spaces that feel safe, beautiful, and meaningful. You don't just want success, you want substance. You don't just want love, you want depth. You don't just want movement, you want alignment. You are always building something more than what can be seen, a life that feels poetically whole. In relationships, you give like a quiet lighthouse, always illuminating the path for others, even if your own waves are high. In friendship, you are the one who remembers, the one who cares, the one who senses pain behind a smile and stays late after the party just to help someone breathe again. In work, you are the force that elevates the unseen, helping others feel something real, something lasting, even in the smallest details. And in your spiritual life, you often serve as a guide for others, even when you never set out to lead. Your presence teaches, soothes, and awakens. You carry the kind of ancient wisdom that doesn't require a loud voice to be heard. It lives in your gestures, your ideas, your timing. People may not always know how to define what it is about you, but they'll remember how you made them feel, understood, inspired, and safe to be themselves. Your gift isn't only what you do, it's how you do it. With grace, with empathy, with purpose, with a quiet but unwavering belief in what could be. The world needs your kind of balance more than ever. In a culture that often rewards speed over sensitivity, volume over vision, and chaos over care, you are a living reminder that we can still dream, and still build those dreams, brick by brick. That we can be intuitive without losing direction, emotional without losing effectiveness, creative without losing commitment. You are, in every sense, the artist with a blueprint, someone who sees beauty not just as an abstract concept, but as something that should be designed, lived, and shared. You're the lover with a loyal heart, the kind who writes love into the mundane moments and builds sanctuary in the places others might overlook. And yes, you are the mystic with a mission. You may not always know where it leads, but your faith in that calling, even when quiet, will take you exactly where you're meant to go. So if you were born on March 4th, let this be your reminder. You are not here by accident. You are here to translate dreams into actions, to turn softness into strength, and to create a legacy that whispers gently but lives forever. You are here to bridge heaven and earth, and to make that bridge walkable for others. And if this message stirred something within you, a memory, a truth, a name, a feeling, honor it. Reflect on it, share it with someone who needs to remember who they are, too. Because in a world of noise, distraction, and doubt, there's profound magic in remembering the soul-level truth. That you were born not just to feel deeply, but to build beautifully.